These boxes are necessary for the decoding of the digital signal.
Our government will also provide the set-top box to more than 5 million poor television household owners. The priority will be given to those households in the border region areas of our country.
Communications Minister Faith Mutambi says the policy will provide a clear definition on exactly what the control system means and how it will affect broadcasters. However, those broadcasters seeking conditional access, which relates to the encryption of the signal, will have to pay for it themselves.
Yes, if they are to encrypt their own content to protect their content, then the broadcasters, whoever want to do that, they can do that.
The set-top boxes will be locally manufactured. The Department of Labour will assist with skills and training in order to create employment. Mutambi says the public will receive regular updates on the process. Abra Barbia, SABC News, Parliament.
All right. So if you don't understand what digital migration is all about, please don't feel alone, all right? I work in the box that is going to be migrated, and I still don't know what it's all about. So, luckily, we've got Solly Mokoetle in studio with us. He is the program head of the Digital Migration Program for Government, and he's also our very own former SABC Chief Operations Officer and former acting CEO as well. Okay, Solly, welcome. It's lovely to have you here.
Thank you very much.
Give me a lesson. Like we said, treat me like I'm 6 years old, no older than that. Let's start from the beginning. What is digital migration?
Thank you very much, Leanne, and it's a pleasure to be back on your seat again, your hot seat
it's
again.
Lovely to have you here.
Look, digital migration is simply the digitization, moving from analog, what is currently analog. You see, this broadcast of ours right now is still on analog. If somebody receives it now at home and watching it on SABC2, they are watching it most likely on a analog television set.
Okay.
This is called analog. Migration means you need to be moved from that analog spectrum, which is the airwaves, you know. It is to migrate from the analog spectrum into the digital world. So to enable our people to watch digital television, right? It is to clear just the spectrum from analog to digital. What it means is that this analog is taking a huge chunk of the spectrum, right? All the countries around the world, this is the biggest transformation of the spectrum since the 1930s, when we moved from radio only to television after the war. And then of course there was television that moved at its own in the 50s, 60s from black and white to colored. But in terms of the spectrum itself, it is the first time that the whole world is transforming the spectrum. This is to ensure an efficient utilization of the spectrum. Let's just imagine that your channel right now was taking this chunk of spectrum, right? What is intended with this is analog.
Yeah.
What is intended is to compress this spectrum and make it digital. When you make it digital, you are efficiently utilizing it. You can now put, where you had one channel, SABC2, you can now have at least 20 channels or even more. So it means the SABC right now, with its 3 television channels, the spectrum that is being occupied by its channels could give us about 60 channels. So there will be many, many channels emerging out of that. But that is not all that you benefit from digitization. On the one hand, you have multiple channels, many channels. On the other side, because you can't use all of that anyway, so it becomes a lot. There is huge excess. That is then used for what is called broadband, which means it is mobile broadband, which means the networks, the likes of MTN, Vodacom, Telkom, can now use that spectrum to deliver broadband services, and which means our internet, this is why now there is a talk of LTE services that are now fast. Remember at the beginning we used to talk about 2G, 3G, and then now 5G. Now it is LTE, and that is because of the digitization of the spectrum, which enables the signals to run much faster. On the other hand, for the television networks, it means we will have more channels, many, many channels. So the SABC will have lots of channels that can then be delivered in different languages and for different kind of content.
Yeah, all right.
But of course, we're still a little bit far away from there now.
When we talk a little bit far away, what are we saying? Are we saying a year, 2 years?
Well, look, it is very difficult to state exactly how long it will take. Just to give you an example, the migration in the UK took about 13 years. This whole digital migration issue has been with us since 2006. We in South Africa, we had a policy on digital migration since 2008. It has taken a long time to arrive at this point where we can say now the most important tool to migrate us is the set-top box.
Yeah.
What is this set-top box? A set-top box is just a converter to convert the signal that is coming now in digital back to your analog channel. So to turn it around, so your signal will be coming in and it gets into through your aerial at home, and it gets into that box, it gets into your television. You continue to watch your television like yesterday.
Yeah.
But the signal is itself digital.
Okay. So
Right?
there's that, nothing changes. I mean, it's not that the picture quality is good. Or is the picture quality going to be
Yes,
better?
those are the benefits
So
of
the
digital
picture
migration.
quality will be better. But it's, what really is needed is that, and I think what people need to understand, because a lot of people start thinking now I have to pay for it. And now all of a sudden I've got to pay for this picture that's coming my way. But that's not the way it's going to work. I mean, it's always been an agreement between, particularly with the SABC and government, to have unconditional access to all these channels in television, and that's what's important. It's still going to be free.
The most important thing for people to understand is that digital migration on its own is free to air.
Yes.
There is no need for conditional access. When we talk about conditional access, we are talking about content. I am now putting a condition for you to access this channel, your content.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And what is that condition? That condition is that you pay.
Right.
But the SABC, all you have to pay is to pay your television license.
Okay.
So you will have digital, you'll migrate to digital with the SABC using a decoder that does not require conditional access.
Yeah.
And this is what government has said. There will be no conditional access. The control system that we're talking about is a security feature to safeguard the box, to safeguard just like we safeguard your cell phone there. You remember there is an international mobile electronic equipment indicator there, right? That it's called the IMEI, something like that, which there is a number there. It's a security pin, which if your phone is lost and if you are keeping it, it's written on your box and other things.
Yeah.
You give it to the police, you give it to the network operator. They can enable or disable
it so that
they can
nobody else
disable
can
that
use
phone
it.
so that you cannot
Absolutely.
use. But what government has said, this control system should make it difficult for people to take the set-top box across the border into other countries.
Good.
Right? Or for us to be flooded by other boxes that will be coming from many, many other areas. So this box will be tuned to South African frequency standard. It will be tuned to the standards of South Africa, which is standard 862, and it will operate only in South Africa through this control system, not to control people, not to control content. It is not about conditional access. It's not about a pay network. It is to make sure that we safeguard the security of the box.
Fabulous. I'm understanding this. I hope you're understanding this. Last question. People are buying all these fancy televisions. I mean, this one behind me here, these digital televisions that are all over the place. Does everybody need this set-top box, or is it only for the older generation television sets?
No, it is actually for everyone right now.
Everybody.
But yes,
even
who
if it's
do we
these
mean?
Thin, like paper-thin televisions with all the
Yes,
fancy technology, they need that as well.
Well, the television is not the issue here.
Okay. It's the signal, the
because
actual
the
signal.
box is a, yes, we are going to that era, to that environment where it will be what is called IDTV and integrated digital television. But at that point, all signals will be digital.
Yeah.
And yes, the tuner that converts from analog to digital will be inside the box.
Yes.
But at the present moment, the current population of television sets in South Africa,
Yeah.
your decoder from MultiChoice is actually decoding from the digital satellite
Back into analog.
back into analog. Yes.
Okay.
So this decoder will be digital terrestrial.
Yes.
which means it is the one on the ground. So
Okay.
for currently in South Africa, we all need
So
a set
everybody
top
needs
box.
that.
Everyone must go there, but government has committed to subsidize 5 million indigent people, our poor people, but
Yeah.
everyone must be ready to get that. When the boxes are in the shops. Right now they are not there. And now coming back to that question of yours of how long will it take, it depends when the minister makes the announcement that we now have the boxes in the shops.
Well, there you go. So you've heard it. I hope you understand it now. I certainly do. I think it's made a lot more sense to me. Solly Mokoetle, thank you. Thank you very, very much for talking to us and giving us a greater understanding of this digital migration that is looming. It's coming. It's here. And you're going to see me in a whole new light. Believe me, I'm going to be all clear and everything. Stunning. Okay.